1.3 million Palestinians suffering from Israel's attacks. Proverbs 29:2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. I want to give all the honor, glory, and praise to YAHAWAH, by HaShem, YAHAWASHI, by HaShem, RAWACHAA, QADASH. Double honors to my elders and great millstone taught me the truth. Sing honors to the Allah. Peace and bless to the 1/3. I'm going to show 2 clips. It shouldn't be no longer than a minute and a half, 2 minutes long. And it's going to go into what's going on in Gaza, over in Palestine. And this also goes into biblical prophecy, because you have to understand that that land, right, is supposed to be inhabited by the Lord's people, whom the Lord will put there. That's why there's so much carnage and suffering going on, because the Lord said when his people will be there, all nations will flow there, and all nations will seek after the Lord. It seems like all nations, except for the few allies that Israel does have, are against this war. And in general, more than half of Americans here in America, which would be hundreds of millions, are actually against the war as well. So nonetheless, I'm going to go ahead and let this beautiful being footage roll, which is actually atrocious if you really understand the value. Human life itself is like, you got to imagine, like, you're just getting blitzkrieg, getting bombarded from rockets and missiles from Israel, and you're defenseless, nothing you can do. And it's like, it's been an ongoing war. Nonetheless, we understand that's our land, the so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans. We're the Israelites. We fit all the curses. We're going to get all the blessings. But without further ado, let's go.
This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, the War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman. Israeli warplanes bombed areas in Beit Lahia in the northern Gaza Strip, as well as the Jabalia refugee camp in Gaza City over the last day, killing at least 4 people. Meanwhile, Al Jazeera reports the Israeli military has deployed more troops in areas adjacent to Rafah, the southernmost city of Gaza, where some 1.3 million Palestinians, more than half of Gaza's population, are seeking shelter. Israeli airstrikes have been pounding agricultural land in eastern parts of Rafah this morning. The official death toll in Gaza is nearly 34,000 Palestinians killed, over 14,000 of them children. Thousands more are missing and presumed dead under the rubble. Nearly 77,000 have been wounded. That's 100,000 Palestinians killed or wounded since October 7th. This comes as a picture by the Gaza-based Reuters photojournalist Mohammed Salem has been chosen as the 2024 World Press Photo of the Year. It shows a Palestinian woman, Inez Abu Mamar, caressing the wrapped body of her dead niece Saleh in the Nasser Hospital morgue in Khan Yunis in October.
Now, I'm pretty sure you heard those numbers. 34,000, from what they said, 34,000 Palestinians have died. 14,000 of them have been children. And 70,000 more have been injured. So that's over 100-something thousand Palestinians that have been either injured or murdered, with 34,000 of them being the ones who have perished, 14,000 children, and 1.3 million have been displaced. I don't understand what's going on here, people. Like, we're talking about, God's people, right? Why is this happening in the land of the Lord's people? Because this prophecy hasn't taken place yet. Isaiah 21, the word that Isaiah the son of Amos saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem. And it shall come to pass in the last days, that the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established in the top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it. The Bible's written in parables. So when you see the word mountain in this context, it's referring to large nations. Hills will be smaller nations. Let's read it again. And it shall come to pass in the last days that the mount of the Lord's house, which is what? The house of Israel, shall be established in the top of the mountains. In the top of what? The other nations. And shall be exalted above the hills, the smaller nations, and all nations shall flow unto it. They're not flowing to the land of Israel right now. Because the Lord didn't put his people there. Let's leave it at that. And many people shall go and say, come ye, and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, or to the Lord's people, to the house of the God of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law, and the word of the Lord YAHAWAH from Jerusalem. Now, a lot of things in this precept not happening. People are not flocking to learn the ways of the Lord. And the law is definitely not going out of Israel, especially when they have the biggest alphabet soup parade in the world. No. Right? That's why this is happening over there. All right? The 1948ers, the small hatters, they're over there fighting against other heathens that's in our land, which is why there will be no peace on earth till the Lord comes back. Verse 4, and he shall judge among the nations, and shall rebuke many people, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. And they're still warring right now. Iran hit Israel, now Israel hit Iran, and Russia and China gonna get involved, and other nations gonna get involved. The least of the flock is drawing America out. But verse 5, O house of Jacob, come ye, and let us walk in the light of the Lord. And that's what we're doing right now. We're walking in the light of the Lord. Everybody else is in gross darkness, not understanding what's going on in the world. We're in the last days, like I said right here. So also millions of people being displaced, hundreds of thousands being, well, over 100,000 being either wounded, and 34,000 being murdered, and 14,000 being children. Yeah, this prophecy is definitely not being held as we speak right now, because the Lord said he will put his people in their land, not a Balfour declaration written to Lord Rothschild to get the land. Another story. Let go.
Ahmed Zakho, 2 of your photographs are featured in an OCHA project. That's the UN Office for Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs. It's a project called Gaza's Carnage Through the Eyes of Palestinian Photojournalists. One of them was taken on October 9th, the other on November 10th. Can you describe these photographs that you chose for this project? In your description of the photograph from October 9th, it says, it was as if flames were spewing from the jaws of Israeli tanks and the F-16 missiles. I took this picture from the 19th floor of a skyscraper in Gaza. In my 25-year career as a photographer, I never felt such fear and distress. I felt that I was filming a cinematic movie scene. I had to remind myself it is all too real. I don't have the words to describe this picture, but I know the terror I felt watching the flames lighting up Gaza in a night drowned in darkness with the electricity cutoffs on Gaza. We're, Ahmed, looking at your picture as you talk to us about it, that picture you took in October.
My closeout precepts. This is Joel 3:1. For behold, in those days and in that time, I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem. I will also gather all nations and will bring them down to the valley of Jehoshaphat, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, and with whom They have scattered among the nations and parted my land. And parted his land, which goes back to the small hats, the 1948ers, the curly sideburners, all right? Going against who? The Palestinians, all right? The land is parted till this day. That's how you know, man, that the Lord's people are not there right now. That's why they still using their swords and their spears. They're not turning them into pruning hooks and plowshares, right? Because Jacob's trouble hasn't come, nor has the evil days of the Lord has come. Nonetheless, let us stay upon our watch and let us stay sober. With that being said, pray use edifying faith, stay in the spirit, don't fear, just endure it. Ask for forgiveness, pray without ceasing, stay humble, remain diligent. YAHAWAH, Shalom.